know this video is a little bit late, but I still want to do it anyways. What's up, Dreamer Tribe? What's up, world? I am Bianca, and I'm here to talk about the most recent Nintendo Direct. So, Nintendo Direct. It was aired a couple of hours ago and was hosted by Yoshiaki Koizumi just as I was getting ready for my day job, so I had to watch it while I was going to work and had to write down my thoughts during my downtime at work, hence the delay for the recording and the publishing of this video, but let's talk about it regardless. So this Nintendo Direct aired and published today, which is February 14 in my time zone, but it's February 13 to UK and the US, and when this was aired. So this Direct is jam-packed with so many games unveiled, and there's Boy Box Plus, Boy Box Girl, and there's Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, and it's free updates and paid DLC. There's Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, there's Dragon Quest Builders 2, there's Disney Tsum Tsum Festival, which I feel like it's just a way for Disney to market their free-to-play mobile game into the Switch, but it looks fun regardless since it is a multiplayer cooperative party game. There's Oninaki, there's Rune Factory 4 Special, which is something I didn't really expect there would be for the Nintendo Switch, and then there's Grid Autoport, Hellblade, the port for Hellblade, Mortal Kombat 11, Unravel 2, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, which also includes all the DLCs and also Assassin's Creed Liberation, and Final Fantasy 7 and 9, as well as Chocobo's Mysterious Dungeon, or Mystery Dungeon. So there's also new updates and news regarding games like Smash Bros. Ultimate and its version 3.0 update. There's Starlink Battle for Atlas and its additional missions that are coming, I think, in April 2019. There's also a slight update about Rune Factory 5, which is under development, and same goes for Bayonetta, but for Bayonetta it was more like it was just stated in passing, but nevertheless that game got mentioned. Apart from those, there were also new demos that came out with this Nintendo Direct for games like Yoshi's Crafted World and Daemon X Machina. Now, it even showed a free game for Nintendo Online subscribers, and which they can download, or we can download now, which is basically a Tetris Battle Royale. So it's sort of like there's 100 players fighting to be the number one Tetris player, and you end up knocking out other players depending on how well you played. So yeah, it's a Tetris Battle Royale, and it's called Tetris 99. And similarly, it showed perhaps the weirdest trailer I have ever seen or witnessed in the form of Deltarune Chapter 1, which is a game that is available for free on February 28, 2019, if I remember that correctly. So there's that if you guys want to check that out. Now, on to the actual heart or the meat of the Nintendo Direct that was just aired, and these are the things that actually captured my attention. First off is Super Mario Maker 2. So this I think was sort of leaked prior to the Direct, so most of us already knew that this was coming. But seeing it made me wonder about a few things. First of all, I never played Super Mario Maker. I never touched that game before, even in its 3DS or Wii U iterations, and I just know the basic bare bones of it. So I kind of want to know how this new version of the game, Super Mario Maker 2, is going to incorporate the controls. Will we be using the touchscreen? Will we be able to use this game or play this game when it is on docked mode, and how will the controls be in that mode? And as well, I have this other inquiry regarding it about whether or not we will need the Nintendo Online subscription in order to play the levels that others created, and also in order to share our own creations. So right now, I think there's very little information regarding Super Mario Maker 2, especially on this Nintendo Direct that was just aired, but we do know now that it will be released on June this year. So next up, and this is really something I'm super excited about, it's Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. So after 10 years, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 will finally grace the video game world with its 4-player cooperative gameplay and all original story. Players, according to the Nintendo Direct, will get to choose from the Guardians of the Galaxy, from the Avengers, from the Defenders, from the X-Men, and a bunch of other superheroes, Marvel superheroes, in a bid to stop Thanos and the Black Order. What's so awesome about this, and what makes me feel so hyped for this game, is the inclusion of Captain Marvel herself, Carol Danvers herself. And so you can bet that this is going to be a day one purchase for me when this game hits the stores. I think the release is summer 2019, sometime in summer 2019, so you can bet that I will be playing through that game like crazy just because Captain Marvel is in it. So apart from Mario Maker 2 and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, they also had a spot for Dragon Quest XI-S. Now, this is a game that I have actually played on the PlayStation 4, so you might be thinking that I wouldn't need to play this port or iteration on the Nintendo Switch, but that is where you're wrong. Now, even if you play this game before, apparently for Dragon Quest XI-S, they have added a ton of stuff. Now, according to the Direct, you can now choose between using the gorgeous 3D graphics of the game or opting to play it in its 16-bit old school style of graphics, so you can choose between those two. You can also choose where you want to play the original musical arrangement in the overworld and in the battles, or if you want a fully orchestrated or orchestral version of those music or of those themes. Apart from that, we now have an option for the Switch version to choose between an English audio or a Japanese audio. So this game is going to be a dual audio game. So you might be thinking that's not really enough to warrant a second purchase for this game, just because all of that is just aesthetics. But, and here is the awesome part about this version, is that they're adding additional chapters to this game. They're adding stories for the other characters in the game. So like each character will have a chance to be at the spotlights, and that will allow the game to expand on its characters. And what's amazing about that is that Dragon Quest XI, I think, has the most memorable cast when it comes to Dragon Quest games. And that, I think, makes this really the definitive edition for Dragon Quest XI-S, and coincidentally, that's what this version is called, Dragon Quest XI-S, the definitive version. And it's gonna come at, I think, sometime this year as well. Well, most of these games are gonna come this year. But funnily enough, about this trailer, the trailer they showed for Dragon Quest XI XI-S, is that there are specific moments in the trailer that I would consider very spoilerish, most particularly the seventh playable character, or the seventh party member that you will end up having along in your journey to rid the world of darkness and evil. But yeah, this is really an interesting, I'm not gonna say it's a port. Again, it's really a definitive edition, so you can bet that I will probably be getting this game as well. Now, another game I am excited for and I've been waiting so long to hear news about, but was finally talked about in a Nintendo Direct, is Fire Emblem, or more specifically, Fire Emblem Three Houses. Today's Nintendo Direct gave us the backstory for each of, or the history for the lands and the kingdoms that are within this game. We also now know a bit of a backstory regarding the main character, or the playable character that we will end up controlling in this game, as well as the other characters that our character will end up meeting. And also included are a couple of features. They discuss that a little bit. And I think this game, it was originally supposed to be released in spring 2019. But apparently they needed more time to develop the game, so they pushed it, and it's now going to be released July 26th. Of course, some people aren't really that happy about it, but the way I see it, I think it's a good thing that they pushed the release back, just because they wanted to give more time to developers to polish this game. And you can't really fault Nintendo for that. I actually find it great that they did so, and I see it positively that they would do that, because that means Nintendo cares about their IP, unlike some companies that we can name, and they aren't just rushing games out for the sake of profit. I really wish I could say more about Fire Emblem Three Houses. I wish I could say that they showed us a lot, but there are just a few features that will give us an idea on how this game is going to play, and also a few of the characters. They didn't outright spoil everything that we could expect from that game, which I think is a good thing. I think that they needn't worry that this game is not going to do well, because it is a Fire Emblem game, and it's been a while since we've had an actual good Fire Emblem game. I'm not counting Shadows, Echoes, Fire Emblem Echoes, I think, since that was a remake, and I can't really say that I was happy about Fire Emblem Fates. Like, the final Fire Emblem I have played that I actually liked is Fire Emblem Awakening, and it's all because Lucina was there, and also because the story is interesting. But yeah, this Fire Emblem game I'm really looking forward to. I'm excited to play it because it sort of feels different from how we know and play Fire Emblem games. They added a bunch of so you're not just a tactician here, you're now a professor, and it's your job to teach all these other characters, and I think you also get to choose which faction you want to really invest your time in. But I also feel at the same time that this is going to take that Fire Emblem Fates route, where there's actually a fourth choice and not just, you know, the three kingdoms that you can support, that you actually have a fourth choice in that matter. So anyways, there really isn't much to say about Fire Emblem this time, but I'm really looking forward to this game, and I hope that this game is going to be, you know, more than we could possibly expect a Fire Emblem game to be, especially since this is the first Fire Emblem game for the Nintendo Switch. Next, we got a first glimpse at an epic-looking game from Platinum Games called Astral Chain. There's little I can say as well about this game, since they just basically revealed it. This is the first time I actually heard about it as well, but based from the trailer we've been given, it seems like an interesting game. It has an interesting plot, and it looks like it has an interesting mechanic too, as well, based on what Yoshiaki Koizumi hinted during the Direct. And What's more is that I feel like we can't really go wrong when it comes to this particular game, considering that the people behind it are well known for the awesomeness of the games that they have developed. So for those who do not know, Platinum Games is also behind Bayonetta. So if you enjoy Bayonetta, then I'm pretty sure you're gonna enjoy this one as well, even though it seems like it has a different flavor to it. It looks like a different genre from Bayonetta essentially, but this is an action, it looks like an action RPG. And finally, I think the real winner of the night when it comes to this Nintendo Direct is of course A Legend of Zelda. So we knew that there was a Legend of Zelda game coming. What we didn't know was what it was going to be. What remake was it going to be? So a lot of people, myself included, wished that it would be Skyward Sword. I wanted it to be that game because I never got to play that game. It was released, I think, at the time when my Wii U was starting to not function properly, so I wasn't able, or my Wii, I never got a Wii U, so it released when my Wii was not functioning properly and longer, so I had to pass that game up. So I really wanted a port or a remake for that game on Nintendo Switch, and I feel like it's possible to do because the Nintendo Switch also has motion function, but I know that it's not that simple considering that the motion from the controllers of the Wii and the Wii U, they're different from the Switch, so I know that, but I still hope that it was going to be Skyward Sword. Instead, what we got, and I don't think that this is a bad thing, that this is the game that we got a remake of, is Link's Awakening. They actually made a freaking remake of this game, and this is another Legend of Zelda game that I never got to play because it's a pretty old game, and I was introduced to Zelda, I think, with the first Zelda game that I played being Ocarina of Time. So all those other games prior to that I never really got to play. So now that there's a chance for me to play Link's Awakening, and boy does this game look so freaking adorable and cute and colorful, I'm really excited about this. I'm always excited whenever a new Zelda game comes out, and this isn't going to be any different. What I did notice about the graphics for this game though is that it kind of reminds me of World of Final Fantasy. The graphics look similar to that in its cutesy manner, but I think it works well with this this iteration of this game. This game is actually was actually rumored to come out, but as far as I remember, the rumor stated it was going to be a 2D Zelda game, so everyone was kind of wondering what kind of Zelda game that was going to be, if this is going to be a new Zelda game, and how that would translate to the Nintendo Switch. So I don't think anyone was really expecting Link's Awakening to be that Zelda game, and that the rumor got it pretty much backwards or wrong, since this originally is a 2D game, but based from the trailer, the remake isn't really 2D. Again, it looks similar to World of Final Fantasy. And there you guys have it, a quick rundown for the most recent Nintendo Direct. Now this Direct, it really feels like the nail to the 3DS's coffin. Even though we didn't get any word or any news about the Generation 8 Pokemon game, which I think, if we're being honest, it was pretty much a given that we won't be hearing anything about a new Pokemon game, about a new Pokemon core game in a Nintendo Direct, because as far as I can remember, they don't really announce any Pokemon games, any core games during Directs. So it was a long shot to hope for, but it was something I was still hoping in vain for. But anyways, regardless of that fact, I think that this Nintendo Direct is a 10 out of 10 in my book. So, what game or games are you most interested in that was shown in this Nintendo Direct? And what is that game that you are most hyped for? Tell me on the comment section below. And once again, thank you for watching me and for joining me in today's video. And I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, you guys know the drill. Dream on, fly on. Bye bye now. What's up, Dreamer Tribe? What's up, world? I am Bianca, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content of this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button to let me know. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to be a part of the Dreamer Tribe, just hit on that subscribe button. We also have tons of different content here on my channel, so be sure to check those out. Until the next video, dream on, fly on.